Hello, friends. This is Ben Pierce, Senior Pastor of Fuquay-Varina Baptist Church, coming to you from 301 Studios, looking at a brand new study called Who Died and Made You King? Looking at all the various kings after Solomon. Now, so far we've looked at Rehoboam, that's Solomon's son. Then we looked at Jeroboam, he was king in the north. And so now we're going to go back down to the southern kingdom and we're going to look at Rehoboam's son. Now, Rehoboam's son was named Abijah, A-B-I-J-A-H. Now, you might see his name as Abiah, or it might be Abijam. Sometimes it's listed that way. Now, he only reigned for 3 years, from 913 to 911 BC. And I think the best way to describe him would be he was a wicked king, he was a hypocritical king. 1 Kings Chapter 15, verse 3 told us this. He committed all the sins of his fathers that they had done before him. His heart was not fully devoted to the Lord his God, and the heart of David his father had been. So we can see he was not like David. He was more like Rehoboam and more like Solomon towards the end of his life. Now, Abijah is going to try to go back and reclaim the northern tribes. So that's going to put him at war with Jeroboam. Jeroboam's still king. Rehoboam has died. Now Abijah is going to fight against him. Now, sometimes Abijah had some victories over the north. But there is one time that I believe it's important for us to look at. 1 Chronicles chapter 13. Abijah is standing on a mountain and he addresses Jeroboam. And he basically dresses him down. He says, hey, you're the ones who turned against David. You're the ones that made a cult religion. You're the ones that have fired all the Levites and made priests of people who have no business being priests. In fact, God is on our side. Now, Abijah had 400,000 men. But here's the problem. Jeroboam had 800,000 men. And Jeroboam had set up a trap. It was an ambush. He was going to attack from the front, then come from behind and basically wipe them out. Well, the men of Judah cried out to the Lord, and the priests blew their horns. And the Bible tells us that the Lord routed the northern tribe on that day. And then the Bible goes on to tell us that Jeroboam's power began to decrease from there. Now, from that, Abijah was a decent king. In fact, when you hear how he addressed down Jeroboam, you would think, okay, he's got something going on. But truth be known, he was hypocritical. In fact, I think that's the best way to describe him, as the hypocritical king. You see, outward, he expressed a godly, he could talk the language, but inside, his heart was not fully devoted to the Lord. Even though he dressed down Jeroboam, they were really half-truths. I mean, Israel was not wrong in starting its own kingdom. The prophet Ahijah had prophesied that it was God ordaining that. God had promised David that he would not allow his rule to stop, but it was never over the entire nation. So he was wrong to rebuke their idol worship. Now, he was right to do it, but the thing of it is, there was idol worship taking place in the south as well. So it was one of those things of, he sounded good, but at the same time, he was living just as wicked as the north was. So he was the hypocritical king. Abijah was married 16 women, like father, like son, like father, like son. 22 sons, 16 daughters. His mother was a person of note. Her name is Maacah. She was like a queen mother. She's going to be like a queen mother. We're going to see her name come up a little bit more. Now, what's important is he's going to have a son. His son's name is Asa. Asa is a reformer, one of my favorite kings. Here's what we can learn from Abijah. One is, don't be hypocrites. Live what you say you believe, and make sure it matches. You can be righteous on the surface and rotten on the inside. You can talk a good game, but you live nothing like it. That's what the world looks at and says, that's why we don't follow after Christianity. We need to make sure that our walk matches our talk. And here's the other one, and this goes for each and every study we've looked at. It requires wholehearted devotion. Give your whole heart to seeking the Lord. Thank you, friends. God bless. Have a great week.